Morning. Because story retelling is such a big, big topic for library class and reading and making good readers, this is the second time we're talking about story retelling with you. The second time we're having a lesson in library on it. Because again, I just want to remind everybody how important story retelling and having those skills to do a good story retelling is for you as a good reader. So as a reminder, in story retelling, you want to remember those 5 things. The setting, you want to remember the time and place, that setting. You want to be able to retell someone where the book took place, the setting, the characters, so who is in the story, what animals, what people are in the story, and the problem, so the struggle that the character may have had. You want to remember what kind of problem it was. And then the happenings are the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. So some really strong details you want to remember from the story so that you could retell it to someone else. And finally, the solution. So what did the characters end up doing in the end that solved that problem that you already pointed out? Okay, so story retelling, very important skill to have as a good reader. And I just wanted to talk for a quick couple seconds about the difference between retelling a story and summarizing a story. So they both, retelling and summarizing, both only use details from the text. Okay, they only use details from the actual text you're reading, and they both keep the details in the correct order. But where they are different is retelling of the story tells the story again in order, beginning, middle, end. The retelling uses many details from the story, and the retelling uses those words in the author's words and how they use them. Summarizing is more about telling the most important parts of the story. So not necessarily all in order, but just what was the most important part or the best part of the book. So, and a lot of times in summarizing, you're going to be using your own words, not necessarily the author's words. And lastly, the summarizing is remembering what that big or main idea of the story is. And that's what you're sharing with somebody. When you're summarizing, you're just taking that whole book and squishing it down and just telling the best parts of the story. But when you're retelling and using that good skill, that good reading skill, you are actually retelling someone the story from beginning, middle, end, giving details, and being very descriptive about the characters that you met and all those pieces along the way. So it's much more descriptive to retell than to summarize.